The sort of tagline in my head is nobody cares. Everything that you want is on the other side of the things you're afraid of.
Experience is one of the greatest teachers, and you don't have to have the same experience as someone else to be able to relate to them.
There's things that people have going on that you have no idea about.
Welcome to this episode of the Balanced CEO podcast. I'm excited here to welcome Jay Rhodes, all the way from Canada. Good old Canada, eh?
Good old Canada. One big landmass. Everyone just says Canada.
Yep, Northern America, as some like to say. I don't know who, but some people call it that.
No thoughts. No thoughts. We don't need to get into that right now.
Okay. So in all seriousness, man, I appreciate having you here. We're in Chicago at the Two Brain Summit.
Yeah.
You have quite the resume in terms of a gym owner. Been doing this a long time.
Yeah.
I know you've been road tripping with Chris Cooper for I don't even know how long.
Since the beginning.
Since the very beginning.
Yeah.
Like you were one of the very first adopters of the Two Brain way, right? It's like that.
I got in early on. I don't know if I'd call myself the first adopter because I mean I had my challenges in the beginning and I just didn't really know what to expect. Like,
Right.
There had to be enough pain for me to sign up with this thing, and I trusted Coop from just knowing him. He was the media director for Canada East Regional back when I was competing, so he would like call me up and interview me for the CrossFit Games website. So I knew him a little bit, but like, yeah, I would say for the first little while, I was just kind of that stagnant, like, I can't do that. We don't do it that way. Like thought when I signed up, I just would spend the money and Chris would save me. I don't know if like not actually,
I think a lot of us think that like, once I pay this money, magically things are going to change
Right.
without me having to change.
Right. And that's just not the case at all.
No.
With all of this, progress resume, I guess, so to speak, that I've changed as much, if not more, than our business. I shouldn't maybe say changed. Like it's allowed me to thrive and flourish. Like
Well, you evolved. You changed.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
at the most functional level, you changed. You evolved.
Sure.
And I tell people all the time, I'm like, this is what you want. Are you willing to change? Well, I don't think I have to. I'm like, well, nothing's going to change if you don't.
There. Right. Like that's
like
it.
if you don't change,
Yeah.
none of these other things are going to change
Right.
because you're leading the ship. So if you aren't changing the direction of your behavior, your systems, your lifestyle, these other dominoes are not going to fall in place on their own magically.
The cliched, the definition of insanity, right? Doing
Right.
the same thing, expecting different results.
So you changed. I mean,
Yeah.
you went from regional competitive, high-level competitive athlete,
Hobby gym.
right?
It
Hobby
existed
gym
for
owner,
us to
competitive
train.
athlete,
Yeah.
to competitive owner and hobby fitnesser.
I mean, I suppose like,
Competitive owner probably isn't the right term, but
No,
essentially
no,
you
but-
went to professional
but
owner
there's-
rather than professional fitnesser.
yeah, certainly my own pursuits, they took a back seat to like, I was like, oh, I saw a path. I saw a light. Like we can do this.
Yeah.
We can do this for a living. I don't have to teach substitute teach high school anymore. And the more I did that, the more I didn't want to do it anymore. But I was like, how the hell do you like Chris's talk this morning? Like there weren't examples of people doing this and like having a great lifestyle. Right. So yeah, the professional gym owner, competitive gym owner, like that does sort of resonate because when I did see that when I changed and when I was willing to try stuff and take action on things, things changed with it. And then it just turns into the game, then you're like, okay, let's try some more stuff or let's double down or let's not forget. Like it's funny. Like when you say like, I have this big resume, I'm sitting over here. I'm like, what goes through my head is like, if you put a kid in front of piano and you give them piano lessons for 10 years, they're probably going to be able to do some stuff.
Yeah.
right? Like I've stayed in something that I care deeply about for a long time. And I think something that we've done well is we haven't really, I wouldn't say we've ever really gotten distracted. So like the shiny stuff, like it's probably held us back from opportunities too, but I think we've been pretty good at repeating the things that work.
You know, and to credit to you, I just want to be really clear with anybody listening that maybe doesn't know you. You're just a humble guy. So like, you're not going to think you have this big resume, but from the outside looking in, like a lot of people look at your resume and go, I would literally kill to have what you've built. And I think it's important for people to understand that like you have put in a lot of work. You and Lacey have put in an insane amount of work and dedication and sacrifice to get to where you're at.
Yeah. I mean, I appreciate that. I do. The funny thing is like in the early years of the gym ownership, like I had goals that were there's like a parallel here that I'm going to draw it to, but I had goals that were not fulfilled. Like I was a track athlete growing up and I wanted to run for Team Canada, and I was on a pretty good path and I ran into some injuries in high school. And it didn't happen. And then I had this like second life as an athlete with CrossFit, where I was like, I want to make the games and I want to represent Canada. And I was like, I beat some guys that went to the games and like, but I never put together the regional to make that happen. And so when I think like back in those times, I wasn't necessarily I don't know. I mean, maybe it'd be better to ask people about me back then. Like, I feel like I wasn't humble back then, but it was like, I wanted to almost like, I don't know. We're hard on ourselves, aren't we? Like I was like not reaching these things, but I was like, I don't know. But the parallel to it was like back when I was as a gym owner and we were struggling and not making any money. I wanted this. I wanted the shiny thing. I wanted more equipment. And then once we had the ability to buy it, I was like, I don't think I really need to buy that.
And to be fair, I think in competitive sport, there's a certain amount of arrogance that's required to get to the top level, because you have to believe internally, I'm the best. I can beat anyone any day of the week.
Right.
Or you're not going to make it.
Right.
Like you're never going to get there because your limiting self-belief is always going to hold you down. So I think as an athlete, you have to create this like almost secondary arrogant character that turns on when
it served me really well. It served me at playing football. Like I was a running back and in track, like it served me very well. There was a number of races that I won by hundredths of a second.
Yeah.
I have handfuls of Ontario provincial medals. Almost all of them I have one silver. It's from the first medal I ever won. They were all either gold or bronze, which is either you couldn't have done better or at least you got one.
Yeah.
Right. That silver is kind of that in between one. So it's that that mindset has definitely served me well, but it also I mean, it also was just, I don't know. I think there's like maybe a self-centeredness that comes with it where like, I don't think I was a great communicator. I didn't really ever like lean into learning how to communicate with people. I was a pretty shy kid. I was pretty introverted. And so like I got stuff going on through my head all the time. Yeah. I'm trying to figure things out, but I'm very sort of like up here and like, you know what, I've learned as an adult, just like other people are wicked interesting. And like, let's just ask them some questions too.
Right. And you were about your business, man. Like with any good competitive professional athlete, you were about your business. You believed you could beat anyone, and that's how you ascend to the level you're at. But like you now have shifted into a business owner, and now it's a gym owner first. Before kids, you're a business owner. You're still a teacher for a while.
2010 to 2018. Yeah, okay, we opened the gym in 2012. Yeah, a number of years.
So you're doing all these different hats. I mean, did you ever feel like did it ever feel like you had to become a completely different person? Because like this like arrogant athlete was almost holding you back from being a better owner, manager, boss, husband, etc.
I mean, absolutely. I think it doesn't all happen at once, obviously. Like, I think it's a gradual thing, but I think, yeah. So, I mean, I can go back and story tell a little bit. So, yeah, take it back to 2015. I signed up with Chris Cooper, 3-2-1 go. This is pre-two brain. And, I didn't sign up right away. It kind of came back to it. And like, we had our first mass exodus out of the gym in 2014. Got way too focused on getting a team to the CrossFit Games, and just like you're not focusing on the right things. And we were maybe a little bit too cutthroat about how we built that team, and it rubbed people the wrong way. And I wouldn't do it again. But you don't get do-overs. So we had a mass exodus. This is summer 2014. Lacey and I got married that summer. We paid our mortgage from our house with gift money from the wedding for a couple of months. Affiliate fee came up in September, couldn't pay it. I had a connection with Dave Castro through meeting him a few times, and I emailed him. I have the email still, and I was just like, I don't know what to do, man. Like our fees due. I can't pay it. I don't know what to do. I believe in this. We're just in a really hard time right now. And he's like, don't worry, man. I got you this year. He comped it, which I was like not prepared to read. I wasn't asking for that either. But it also didn't really solve the problem, right? It just sort of
prolonged the suffering.
Kind of. Yeah. And then so Christmas came around that year. We didn't buy each other Christmas gifts. Like, we didn't do Christmas. Can I curse on this?
No, go for it.
I fucking love Christmas. I love it. I don't know. I just love everything about it. I love the whole month of December. I love the lights. I love everything. And it was just like,
is it due to the proximity to the North Pole? Do you think like it's just, you're like in the polarity of it?
It might be. Yeah. So yeah, it was just this like, we can't do this. Like, this isn't the life that I want. And this certainly isn't like the life that like my wife deserves. And so we like painted the gym instead of doing Christmas with each other. And it was like, okay. And then the gym started to rebound a little bit. And this is a bit of a long-winded story, but it has a bit of a wild piece in there. So we started to recover, and I remember I was like, where is the money? Like, it's not there. Like, I just couldn't understand it. I was like, I know there's processing fees. I didn't know shit about metrics back then. I just wasn't tracking anything. Like, I have back then we did the big sheet. You remember the big sheet?
Oh, yeah.
All of mine are rounded numbers to the hundreds or to the tens. They're not real. I just guessed at everything. Yeah. Right. And so I asked in the group, which I wish that, I don't know if that group's even active, but if it was in the two brain, like, I would screenshot that and like frame it. But I was like, basically like, where's our money? And someone was like, call your processors. Right. It's like, okay. So I remember this is a Friday and it was late, and I called and they were closed till Monday. I went way up north to way up north, like 10 hours up into Quebec, and did Masters Nationals weightlifting competition. Broke a bunch of like Canadians Masters national records. I almost didn't go because I couldn't afford the gas and the hotel. And my brother kind of talked me into it. He's like, you might not ever just get the opportunity to do it again. So I went up there. I got to hang out with like 60 and 70-year-old weightlifters that are just like legends of the sport, which was so cool. And then I came back and I went to teach on Monday, and I called our processors. So back then we were using Chase for credit cards. So direct. So like, I bill Chris for his gym membership. It goes directly into our bank account.
Right.
If I bill Chris for pre-authorized debit, so out of a bank account with VersaPay back then, it would go into a holding account, like a PayPal or something like that.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
So you just got this chunk of money sitting here in the cloud.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
A lot.
I could see where this is going, because you're not the first person I've heard.
Really? Someone else won their own lottery?
Well, I don't know if it's necessarily that they won the lottery, but they like didn't understand their financial process.
Yeah.
So like if someone was using a different form of payment, it
Yeah.
went to this thing
Yeah.
and they hadn't filled out some form with their bank account info.
Yeah.
So the money was just sitting there waiting for the company to know where to send it.
Yes. Yeah. So this is, again, this is a bit of a roundabout story, but I log in, there's $77,000 in there.
That's definitely the highest I've heard.
This was like almost 3 years of building, right? And it was like, we didn't pay attention to money. We didn't have a lot. Like I would have, if that money, if we knew it was there, it was gone. Right.
Right.
But we were living at Lacey's parents' house. Then we got a house. Then I started teaching more. Then we opened the gym. It's just like inflows and outflows so much. Like I feel dumb. Like I remember I was like, I don't know who to tell this story to, because I'm dumb and I have a bunch of money right now. It's not a feel good story for anybody, but
I mean, it's a feel good story for you
now
when you realized it was there.
So there was a lot of really, really good things to come from that. So the gym was more, I mean, we weren't doing a lot. We were doing like maybe 10 grand a month. But we had more coming in than we realized. We were more successful than we realized. We wiped out all debt, consumer debt, student loans, all of it. We had about half of the money, $33,000 left. And then I started to learn about investing literally in the same week as going from like in debt, spinning wheels, paying minimum credit card to, right? So, I mean, the lesson there is like, you have money, you have more than you think. Like you just need to automate. You need to put it away and not act like you have it at all. We just did it way aggressively. Like the amount of things that we said no to over those years was pretty wild. We're in poverty or anything like that, but like it would have been nice to have some of that.
Oh yeah.
So that kind of like, I was like, we're good. But then, months go by and I'm like, nothing's really fundamentally changed about our business. Like I've signed up for this thing. I haven't really done a whole lot with it. And so I remember like New Year's 2016, we kind of, Lace had just come off of doing she had made the Canadian team for weightlifting. So we were in Houston for the World Championships and she was going to be like trying to qualify for the Olympics and everything. And she was pouring a lot into that. And I was like, I'm going to put my own endeavors aside a little bit, and I'm going to focus hard on this business and learning what it's all about and how to actually like run this thing. And it's been pretty up and to the right since then.
That's amazing, man. I mean, I know early adopter or not, you're an OG in the T-Brain world. You're an OG in the CrossFit affiliate owner space, especially now with the way things are
early. Yeah.
So, I mean, for someone new to this, or maybe they're early on in their business, or maybe they're like me that was 7 years in before they finally realized they had to put some time into themselves to kind of grow everything. I mean, when you're sitting here struggling through all this, you get this windfall of money, you start learning about investing, which I do want to talk about a little more.
Sure.
You are quite you really have a great system in place in terms of like what you do with stocks and everything else. Like I think for someone that's like on a little bit, that's more low risk, wanting to just kind of have a way to kind of move their money and think long term.
Okay. Yeah.
I think your system is really good for that.
Okay.
But what I'm more curious about right now is Lacey's doing the weightlifting thing. You're doing the gym thing. Mm-hmm. Kids really aren't a twinkle in the eye quite yet.
Not quite yet. No, she poured a lot into that. Yeah. And then it was, so she was, I mean, a little shout out to her and how like she almost made the Olympics. Like she was our third alternate. So she picked up weightlifting as a, I don't know, 24, 25-year-old. Like I got her started into CrossFit and then she was just like, so she was a gymnast and a long jumper. You combine those two and you got a pretty good weightlifter.
You got a really explosive and powerful human.
Right. Even though she's not a squatter, she doesn't have squat mechanics at all, but she was 128 pounds and power clean 220 and snatched 205. Right. Like she broke Canadian records, 13-year-old standing records. She didn't miss either. Like she opened. I'm just like, super proud dude right now of her, but like the Canadian record was 91 kilos and she would open at 90. She'd open at 99% of the Canadian record and she just didn't miss.
Just national record.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
it's what I get up and do for breakfast.
So yeah, she poured a lot into that for a while, and somewhere in there we realized like I'm maybe more of the visionary steering the ship. She's way better like integrator of all my ideas. Not just she's had some fantastic ideas too. But she is sort of the integrator to our staff. Or I could probably do a better job now, but that was another sort of split that we made, was like, I'll sort of handle the growth and direction and like the sales, marketing, all that type of stuff. And she's going to be the piece that links it all up and does scheduling and staff meetings and all that.
So I love that. I love that you bring that up, because I think that's something that most people don't really consider, is like, which side of the fence are you on? They try to be all rather than, like you said, I think, or maybe it was Gary said, rather than buying back your time by hiring someone, or in your case, being married to the right fit.
Sure. I mean,
take the other side of the coin.
We'd been together. We've been together since 2007. I mean, there was no, it's funny. We got together as kids. Like there was no inkling of a business or like CrossFit or weightlifting or any of this stuff that's happened as adults. Right.
But it's interesting, right? Like it's usually that way. Like one spouse is like, one partner is more visionary. The other one's more of a X's and O's box checker. Right. They're more streamlined. They get shit done. They're very like systematic with the way they do things.
I mean, if we're going on a vacation, I show up and I'm like, whoa, cool. This is what I had no idea. Like I haven't even looked at the place, and she's like, got it all taken care of. Yeah. Because if I do it, like we had her family over on Wednesday night we play volleyball with them. And so we did like a burger night before, and we had them over and everything. So I went to grab all the stuff, and I got burgers for everybody, some toppings and whatnot. And I had to go back to the grocery store 3 times. I forgot. Like, I didn't. I got like all the burgers, and I was like, we're good. And then she's like, did you get, I got like I got like mustard, and but she like, did you get like tomato, onion, like I'm like, okay, I'll go back. So I kind of go back. I'm like, I just wanted to go for a little drive. I wanted to go back.
I wanted to get away from everyone for a minute. Yeah.
And then so I get back. I'm like, all right, we're good. We're done. Did you get the buns? I showed up to my brother's wedding with the wrong pants. I
want to say,
I mean, I'm outing myself here.
I want to say I don't understand, but I've done all of that.
Here's one that you probably haven't done. Back to Christmas and my love of Christmas. I forgot all of the Christmas presents from my family at home and drove to Kingston 4 hours away. And as I was getting in, I was like, oh my God. And it was Christmas Eve, and I was like, I think I remember everything I got. We're going to do a quick circuit. We're going to buy everything again. I'm going to tell my family about it because they're going to think this is hilarious. And then we're going to return everything when we get back. But yeah, I did that too.
I may not have done that, but I've definitely flown out places to do podcasts and forgot podcast equipment.
Yeah.
Like just straight up didn't pack it.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'll find myself in a room and I'm like, why am I here? I have to so for all this, whatever resume, I'm just silly sometimes. And
I think that's just the visionary ADD mindset of like most visionaries, I'm sure, have ADD.
Yeah.
And that's why we're visionaries, because we can float up in the clouds in our brain and just drift off into where do I want to be in 6 years? Yeah. Where someone that's more rigid and systematic is like, I need to figure out what's in front of me right now. Like, I can't look past this. Where we're like, oh, I can look right around. I was going like this.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's funny. I never thought of I didn't really struggle with school. I got bored with school sometimes, but don't have anything diagnosed or never thought of myself that way. But when I get around a lot of entrepreneurs, there's a lot of commonalities. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, not to necessarily say everybody has it, but I think everybody has, like, there's a certain quality to visionaries that, like, it mirrors those symptoms. Because like I tell my wife all the time, she's like, how do you not take care of this thing right in front of you? And I'm like, it's real simple. You just do this. And then I just look out that way.
Right.
And, out there is like where I want to look. I want to look at what's happening a year from now. I don't care about what's happening 1 minute from now.
Like I could create a couple of things over here. The laundry will be there when I get back.
Yeah. I'll fold that up when I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah. In like 6 weeks.
Cool. I feel seen.
Yeah, I do too. Like my Christmas tree that stays up 8 months out of the year.
I just took our Christmas lights down this week.
Yeah. No, if I didn't hire someone to put up and take off the Christmas lights, they'd be there year round.
Right.
I have no interest in going back up there again.
You wanted to talk about the house. Maybe this is a segue. We had to get sod put in and everything. We put in a ground sprinkler system that's automated, and then we got people that come and cut the grass. It's what we've built is too nice for me to take care of it.
I grew up with a dad that was very into backyards. Like he was that 80s and 90s dad that was like a 7 a.m. on a Saturday. You hear that lawnmower rev and you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
Right?
I can hear my dad right now, like, don't step on the grass, go around. Right.
And so we spent every week, lots of weekends picking up leaves, mowing lawns, blowing out like sidewalks, all that shit. So when I became a homeowner, I turned to my wife and I said, I will never do it. We're hiring someone from day one. And I think with our property now, there's no way I could keep up on it. It is way too big, way too many fancy plants and shrubs and shit that I don't know the first thing about taking care of.
I kind of I like mowing the lawn.
I don't mind mowing a lawn, but like the rest of it is like I couldn't.
Sure.
I'd kill it all.
Yeah. I just don't like maintaining things. I just don't. I know that it's a weakness of mine. So like where we can, we'll hire it out. Yeah.
And that's something important too, right? You're buying back your time.
Yeah.
And that's something I think we forget with money. And I will say this till I am in the ground. Money can, if you're already happy and satisfied with your life, money can amplify that 1,000,000 times over. But if you're unhappy, unsatisfied, not living a life that you enjoy, money will do nothing to help that. Zero. Like it will not change anything.
I can get behind that.
And so when I tell people, I have a gardening team. I have this guy. I have a guy that puts up Christmas lights. I have a guy that does this. I have cleaning people. I have an assistant. I have a house manager. I have all these. Oh, must be nice. And I'm like, you know what's nice is that all these things I fucking hate, I don't have to think about. Right? That's what's nice is that I built a life to where I can pay to make all these things that would literally make me want to swan dive off the second story of my house. Go away.
Yeah. And the must be nice thing, like, I'm sure that gets said to people that have all that stuff and are deeply unhappy.
Yep.
And what's their answer? Right. And then someone says that to you and you're like, yeah, I'm inside working on my podcast, or I'm like in my garage gym working out with my boy.
Yeah.
And that lights me up. And like, it's not like, the must be nice should really, like, there should be a follow up to that. That's like, must have also been a lot of work.
Yeah.
And like
must have been hell to get here.
And kind of scary sometimes that like, like we get our house clean once every 2 weeks as well. Because then it's fairly manageable. It's like, these aren't crazy sums of money. Like people blow money on all sorts of stupid shit. Right. And, I don't know, like,
and you got an incredible
There's
house.
weird judgment. There's weird judgment that goes around.
I don't know. I don't remember if it was you or Lacey. I think Lacey designed most of the. Was it Lacey that did most of the design work?
Yeah, she was like start to finish, and it's beautiful. Like,
your house is out of control. You guys built a custom house a handful of years ago, right? It's been a few years now.
So, again, there's a little bit of backstory. We were living in Lacey's parents' house for almost 3 years. So from 2010 to like 2013, when we opened the gym, when I started teaching, all of it, we were kids. We had no money. We were button up against, like, it's just, when you're kids and you're not sort of self-sufficient yet, like, after 3 years, it's like, well, when are we going to have our space back? That type of stuff. And I remember this house came up around the corner. So her whole family's in real estate. Her dad has owned a real estate company since, like, he doesn't fully manage it now, but since like 1983. He's done all sorts of crazy stuff. And then some of her siblings are in real estate. And so there's a house right around the corner coming up. They're like, it's a little cottage, but it's on this pond. It's awesome piece of property. And it's coming up on Monday. It's Friday right now. It's coming up on Monday. Get your ducks in a row and buy it. And we're like, how do we do that with no money? Right. And so they took us around and showed us all the comparable houses and everything. It was listed at 289, which is like non-existent. These days it'd be like triple.
Yeah.
Even for what it was. So this is also to say that we got it in a good time, which has allowed us to do some of the stuff that we've done. But yeah, her brother and sister put their commission back to us, helped with the down payment. Her dad had a friend that owned a business, put Lace on fake payroll for a while so we could show income. And then we had to pay all that back and pay the tax on it as well. And then we had this house that we could afford because it was a pretty minimal mortgage, but we couldn't show income from our gym yet, which there was not that much, but there was enough to, handle a $650 a month mortgage or whatever it was.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So that's how we got that piece of property. And then, it's funny. Her sister was the visionary of this. She's like, 10-year plan, knock it down and build. And when you have no money and this is your first house, you're like, okay, like it kind of sticks in your head.
Yeah.
But it's like,
you don't really believe it yet, but it's like in there. It's rattling around.
Right. And the craziest thing is we moved in August of 2023 was like right at the end of August. It was like 10 years and 2 months. So almost, and it would have been sooner. We tried to start building like right as COVID hit. Like we were almost there. We had, drawings and all that stuff. And, but yeah, so there's delays and stuff to it, but so then the dips of COVID. And then, Jolene said in her talk, just as I was walking out, like, raise your hand if like COVID was the best thing that happened to us. And it's like, there's all sorts of crazy, like it's a hard time, but it was like a reset. And we had got 10 years of lessons in a year. And so anyway, like fast forward, we're doing okay again. And then it's time where we're years further, the investments are doing well. And we ended up being able to build something a little crazier than we expected.
I mean, you guys have done an amazing thing with that. And then tack on that, you now have 2 kids. Mm-hmm. How old is the baby?
3.5 months.
3.5 months.
February
That's
19th.
Right. I knew it hasn't been long.
No.
You guys have been through an extraordinary journey to get there.
Yeah.
I don't know how much you want to talk about that.
I've been open book. Sure.
Do you want to kind of just break down like what that has been like? It's been a long and arduous journey.
Yeah. I mean, if you hadn't realized, my stories can get drawn out a little bit. So I'll just go like, I'll just, I'll give a brief overview and then you can dig into whatever part. So 7 miscarriages, four initial ones before we went into a fertility clinic for the first time. Realized that carrying probably wasn't going to happen. Looked into all alternatives, which like you just know nothing about these things until you need to. Told Lace's family about it. Her sister's like, I'll do it. Surrogate. Carried my son. It worked first try. So he was born in July of 2021. When he was 4 months old, we signed up with so she was like one and done. Like we didn't ask her to do that, and it's not something you ask. You just
exactly. Shout out to your sister-in-law. Like that's incredible. Such a cool thing to just be like, yep, I got this.
Incredible, and they'll like share a bond forever, right? when he was 4 months old, we signed up with a surrogacy online Canada, which like, again, it's basically you pay $8,000 for a membership for a year. It's very protected. Like it's different in the States than it is in Canada. It's in the States. It's like just more money. Like you can just basically pay for it. Right. With this, it's a little bit more protected. But it basically puts you in this, like, it's like an online dating pool. Like you're trying to match intended parents, surrogates. Right. And we had a couple of calls that just like didn't work out, that went really well. And then we had this one girl that we seemed familiar to her for whatever reason. And we tried with her twice. She moved across the country in the middle of it, which was really challenging. And we had to like fly her and her kids back and forth for these things and for appointments. And we miscarried with her twice. So we're up to 6 now. And then shortly after her, Lace miscarried again. And then we got our dog, Rex, as a little companion to Leonardo. And then actually on Leonardo's birthday, my family was all down, and she told me that weekend, she's like, I'm pregnant, which, coming from where we had come from, is not exciting.
I was going to say it should elicit excitement, but given the circumstances, probably not the case.
Nah, we'd gotten to the point of a heartbeat, I think like 4 times in those 6, 3 or 4 times. And yeah, you're hopeful, but excitement and like, let's build the nursery and let's start picking out names, like all, like kind of like if you've not experienced any of this stuff, like just how the path goes. That wasn't ours. So, but we went to these appointments and they're like, yeah, it's all good. Looks strong. We're like, excuse me, what? Right. And like, okay, cool. And like, we know, like, you know, we'd seen the HCG numbers dropping. We know, like, we're on the lookout for like, are you, you know, like before they tell us, like, we can kind of pick up on their body language and stuff like this. And it was all just good. And it just was good the whole way through. And so she's got what's called a unicornuate uterus. It's like basically one side just like didn't develop. She found out at 32 years old, no left kidney either. Wild. Like world-class athlete, and you find this out in your 30s.
Just out there outlifting people with 2 kidneys and a like normal functioning body. And
sure.
Like,
yeah. And so when we found this out, like this was like after the 4, the stats are not good. Like not, but there's also success stories. And
right.
so like, I remember after we miscarried with the surrogate the second time, she's like, I just don't believe that I'm not capable of doing, like, I don't believe that that's the case. Like, I want to keep trying. I'm like, it's hard. Like, I don't know. I'm sure that there's like, you know, I get like upset even thinking about it at this point, but like losing a kid once you have them, my God. You just don't get to build the relationship, but it's just upsetting because especially now it's like these are all like these little guys or girls that could have been, right?
Yeah.
And but I was like, hey, if we've got one now, and like this whole journey is incredible, and if we got to go through this 7 more times, like I'm on board. And it worked the next try, and she carried.
So I mean, how do you go through this like insane roller coaster? I can't even fathom myself. And manage a business, and you're a 2-brain mentor, and you've got your own fitness to take care of, and you're built a custom home, and you know
there's the resume. It's a different kind of resume, I guess.
Right.
So I had Sean McQueen on my podcast last week, and I think I got I had a couple of thoughts on it. I don't know. Honestly, I don't like what's the alternative? Like, you just shell up? Like, that's just not me. So
unfortunately, a lot of people take that choice.
I mean, maybe that's my superpower.
I think most of us in Two Brain, in Tinker, made the opposite choice. And that's why we're where we're at.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's something to be said for leaning in,
Yep.
you know? So some of my thoughts go to like, it made me understand people a lot more. Like, I mean, I've coached people in various forms almost like most of my life, but it just made me realize like there's things that people have going on that you have no idea about. And like, it's like why they act the way they do and just like give them some grace, you know? And then the other side of that was like, I have a duty to like take care of people and like it's not to say, so in my head, it's the sort of tagline in my head is nobody cares.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way, not in a way that like, you wouldn't be like, Jay, that's like, give me a hug and like console me or whatever.
Right.
But when I need it, but like at the end of the day, like I have a job to do. Right. And like, you can't, that's when if you just show up, eventually those things, your opportunities go away.
Yeah, I use the term life doesn't care.
Sure.
Life is going to keep moving.
Yeah.
With
the
or
world
without
moves.
you.
Right. Yeah. So there's that. And then Sean asked me a bunch about my parents. And so my mom, when I was in high school, my mom lost both of her parents and her sister so her parents' old age and her sister to suicide in the same year. Yeah. Yeah. And and her sister lived with us for a while before kind of like trying to get back on her feet. I'm a kid. I don't quite understand these things at the time. But I just never really saw her like complain or like really like, so Sean's question, he's like, what? He's like, he likes to dig and he's like, what's like something that you would like tell your parents that you've never told them? And I'm like, fuck. Okay. Like we're going here. And so it was like, basically to my mom, it was like that you don't have to just like, it's okay to not be okay. Like there's no way that you were okay during those times. And like, I don't really remember talking about it much, and I'm sure my parents did, but like, I don't know. But like, it also taught me this like resiliency that like she showed up as mom every day.
I think it's just a really great look into the importance that people have to remember. Like regardless of what's going on in your life, you have a responsibility to the people that rely on you
and yourself.
And like there's a strength that is required for you to be the person you signed up to be when you had kids and you said you're going to do these things in this world. Like there's a certain, I think resilience is the perfect word for it, that is required if you're going to live up to the expectations that you have in society as a parent, as a, a caretaker. If there's anybody in your life you care about, you're a caretaker, period, because you care about them. So you have a duty to caretake to a certain degree. And I think that's amazing because I think you're right. Like looking back, no one knows what you're going through. Obviously, people close to you will, because you're going to talk to someone, I hope.
Yeah, for sure. And but they don't experience it with you,
Like you still got to show up.
Yeah.
I think that's amazing. And I think it's true. I mean, I want to respect your time. So I have one last question for you.
For sure. Hey, I'll do this as long as you want. I love it.
We will probably come back and do a second episode. I said there's a lot left on the table.
Sure.
But like, what's one thing, if you were going to talk to people, gym owners or not, they're listening to this podcast, they're struggling one of these three major facets of their life: business, family, or health. Maybe they're struggling with something that you've gone through, the fertility or financial. What's like just one sage piece of advice you would give that maybe you wish somebody had told you back in, say, 2015 when you hadn't found that money yet?
I don't know if it's back that. So what's in my mind is that it's along the same lines as that lean in and show up. It's that everything that you want is on the other side of the things that you're afraid of, right? Like whether that is, I mean, it's me as a shy, introverted kid having to learn how to like be a leader. It's not knowing shit about how to run a business, but having a ton of passion for the industry that you're in and helping people, and having to like shell out a bunch of money and realize that you're a beginner.
Yeah.
Right. It's about, I mean, Lace and I have done a lot of work on, I mean, we got together as, like I mentioned, we've been together like 18 years, doing like couples therapy with her, and just becoming better communicators and better for each other. Right. All these things they're scary at times, and they're not like, but they're not like, they're not, it's the fucking story is scary that you're telling yourself before. And then you get into it and you're like, oh, people are helpful. And like getting to the other side of this stuff is good. Right. This guy on my shoulder right here, right. Like this is Into the Storm, right?
Yeah.
The buffalo, Into
That's
the
amazing,
Storm,
yeah.
the story with them that they're the only animal that their nature is to go through the storm, because they know that they get, storm comes this way, they take it head on, they get through it quicker.
That's crucial. I think that's really important too. Like you said, I think too many times in our lives, the people that didn't make it through the toughest times were the ones that ran from the storms consistently in their lives. They didn't take anything head on.
Yeah. And there's the thing is, there's nothing that I can say, or it's so, I love this because it's connecting, and it's not going to get someone. What I say is not going to get someone through their thing, but they're going to be like, oh, he has it too. Oh, he has it too. Yep, they go through hard shit too. And then now it's like, maybe I can do that. Yep. You can't do it for them, right? There's another legendary Chris podcaster, Chris Williamson, right? Modern Wisdom. He talks about like the 2D lessons and 3D lessons. Like there's all these like unteachable lessons, he calls, and like you just have to learn them for yourself. Like someone can run you through the whole gamut of it, but like you don't experience it until you experience it. Now it's 3D.
Yep.
Right. And so there's value to just talking and sharing and connecting.
Experience is one of the greatest teachers, and you don't have to have the same experience as someone else to be able to relate to them, and be able to, for someone to be able to take your story and go, holy shit, I'm in the mud, something similar. He just gave me hope, which draws back to exactly what Coop opened today with, which is in the end, the number one thing you need if you're going to get through any storm is just a little bit of hope.
Yeah, I mean, between him and Joey Coleman this morning, I was like, I'm good for the weekend, man. Even Chris is like, I was not ready for how good Joey was, but Coop, I've been around this stuff forever. I've been to a lot of summits. I'm in a very family-centered just challenges. We've had to let a staff member go. Just like there's a lot going on where I haven't necessarily been like opportunity, right? And like, I don't know, the stuff he was talking, it's just like, hey, just meet people where they're at, and you got so much to offer them, right? Before we wrap up too, I want to give you a shout out for like just the Top Golf stuff, the White Sox last year, like you're just showing up and connecting people and putting things together, and it's inspiring. We do a similar thing with our Christmas party where it started a lot smaller and it's turned into us buying dinner for like 105 people and like renting out a place and a DJ now. And it's like, it's
amazing.
It's a thing you got to prepare for.
Yeah.
But it's, I was talking with the guys last night. I'm like, they're like, this is really all taken care of. I'm like, so Chris does this kind of stuff, man. Like I was at the steakhouse the one night when like, there was like 30 people there, and they're like, yeah, Chris picked up the bill and you were gone. It's just like Batman, right? But I didn't even realize the Christmas spread. I was like, I guess I got my own little one like that. I do like that too. And it's just, I brought it up to my coach and she's like, it just makes it gets people together and people talk about our Christmas party. Like they're like, right. You're going to a Christmas party for your gym.
Yeah.
And like, we run a killer party, man. It's fun. And people don't gotta worry. There's no barrier to show up. Right.
I realized a few years ago, my superpower is connecting people. So I realized I just need to dig into that. And like you said, your little thing is the Christmas party. The people you're connecting in that room, it's not little. It's a big thing. Right?
Yeah.
So for me, it feels little to do Topgolf. Like, cool. Yes, I'm lucky. I can do this. But in reality, it's a big thing to the people that are there. Because like there was 20 guys from Europe that have never been to a Topgolf. They didn't even know what the fuck it was.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I've never been to one.
Right. So it's like, there's so many people that were there that had never even seen a Topgolf. I think at least 10 people said they'd never touched a golf club before.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's not just the networking.
One of the Europeans is looking up golf clubs now. Yeah. Maybe I want to do this.
But for me, it's like I get to see everybody get together and connect and learn. And I do too. Yeah. I learn a ton too. It's valuable for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what matters. So like people got to find that thing. It doesn't have to be huge. If it's literally a free event, come to the park and just hang out as a bunch of dads while your kids play and swap stories on how you parent and things you do to engage with your kids. It can take $0 to connect people and create value for each other.
Yeah.
Right?
You're an example, man. Yeah, you're an example.
I appreciate that.
The world needs more people that show up like that.
I look forward to it every year because every year I want to do something fun and hang out with people I enjoy being around. I don't get to see all the time. So it's awesome.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm glad to be part of it.
Hell yeah. And as always, keep digging in.